We modified our strategy to focus on what we call clean energy metals a few years ago. And at the time, we were producing nickel, copper and cobalt from our Nova mine, a world-class asset in that space, low cost and longer mine life. And we've continued the search to get exposure to more clean energy metals, exploration focused on nickel and copper, but also patiently watching the lithium market, waiting for the right time to round off our clean energy metals portfolio with lithium. And obviously lithium is very important to that clean energy metal thematic.
Now, you've been able to come in on this stake at quite a good price, considering that it is a top tier asset. Do you have any concerns though, because of the separation of ownership, because of the circumstances, I suppose, that you were able to score this stake, that there could be any further flux when it does come to the ownership? Or has Tianqi given you basically the assurances that they're here to stay?
Absolutely, and I think the market response for both Tianqi and IGO has been very positive. The market has welcomed from the Tianqi side the fact that they've been able to put their balance sheet going forward into a much stronger position, so their share price has responded accordingly. And our shareholders here in Australia at the IGO level have very warmly applauded the transaction, and our share price is up strongly on the announcement as well. So I think this is one of those occasions where it's a win-win for both parties, and that's a solid outcome given the really strong level of collaboration that we have had with Tianqi through this whole process of getting to understand the lithium business and striking the deal.
Those win-win scenarios have been quite hard to come by, considering the Australia-China relationship. Just in terms though of the lithium outlook, do you think that we are going to see this surge in the price activity to the upside that a lot of people are expecting?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think COVID-19 has really reinforced the need for decarbonisation to create cleaner air and cleaner waters and to generate a better outcome for future generations. And parts of the world that just haven't seen blue skies and clean air for generations have evidence that during COVID, as a result of the downturn in industrial activity, the downturn in transportation, and the reduction in power generation. And that's reinforced it. We're seeing many governments worldwide, including renewable energy programs and electric vehicle programs in their stimulus packages, and we think that reinforces the dynamic for electric vehicles going forward. As a result, there will continue to see an explosion of demand for electric vehicles and therefore an explosion of demand for lithium.
Now, you've taken on a considerable amount of debt to fund this deal, 1.1 billion Australian dollars. You've engaged in that capital raise as well, the 766 odd million. You've got a little bit of change when it does come to the cash in hand. And there is that speculation now that perhaps Tropicana is going to be sold, your 30% stake in that gold mine. Have you been engaged in some near-end talk discussions when it does come to that mine?
Yes, great question. We've designed what we think is a flexible funding scenario. We've maximised the debt that we can reasonably put on the balance sheet based on the two producing assets, Nova and Tropicana. And then we've tried to minimise the amount of equity that we have issued to do the transaction. And the reason for doing that is to maximise the returns back to existing shareholders. The debt package, 1.1 billion, it's at one bookend. That's a level of debt that we're very comfortable with, but we also see the opportunity to trade out of the Tropicana gold asset. This is not aligned with strategy. It's been a very important part of the business in the past, but for the right opportunity, we've always been prepared to trade out. So we do have a existing process underway, and early in the new year, we would potentially know the outcome of that. And if we get the right outcome, the right price for Tropicana, then that's another option to reduce the amount of debt that we have on our balance sheet going into the close of this transaction with Tianqi.